Hello, this is Marcus Knight, CEO for Hand Up Paid Forward, HUPF, and today I'm meeting with U.S. Assemblyman, and I just want to take a moment to introduce him. And we've been meeting for a while, and I'm just amazed at the kindred spirit, and I appreciate him more than you'd ever know. So, introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, I'm New York State Assemblyman Nate Sage. I represent the city of Yonkers in the New York State Assembly. It's called the 90th District. I'm very fortunate to be a lifelong Yonkers resident and a member of many organizations, and I'm very proud of my nearly 45 years of involvement in education, civic affairs. And I'm here today with Marcus Knight, a person I got to know recently through a mutual friend and fellow educator, Robert Stoff, former city councilman and community advocate, and getting to know Marcus Knight and the agenda and the efforts that Marcus has been involved is really commendable, worthy, and really part of an initiative that continues to grow on the local, state, national, and global. So I'm very happy to be here and to be a part of this very important mission.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. As I stated, we've gone over a few of the projects that we're going to be doing with HUPF, and including Unilever and BEU. At Unilever, the NYCHA program, we've covered a lot of things. The city. So I just wanted to actually go over just a couple of them with you. Okay, kindness, empathy, and cultural tolerance. This is something that HUPF created for Unilever and BEU for the STEM program that we're currently doing. So we've been doing this actually for 6 or 7 months, and now the entire world is talking about implementing the same thing. But we're actually the first. So tell me what you think about this.
Marcus, kindness, empathy, cultural tolerance, it's a crucial area. It's an area that impacts public education, housing, indifference, conflict resolution, the misunderstanding with cultural values, with gender preference, with diversity, are issues that we all understand have caused us a lot of unnecessary and uneasy harm in our society. And the efforts, Marcus, that you've undertaken on the local and national, global levels really allows us to bring people together, to bring corporations together, to bring business and political and cultural leaders together and religious leaders together, and to really begin to bring the gap down that divides us and get people to recognize that there's more commonality that we have than differences. And through these initiatives, to give people an opportunity to give back, whether it's giving back to a child, whether it's mentoring a co-worker, whether it's encouraging a young man or woman to go to college and help them with planning their careers. These are the type of initiatives that are built on a system where people get together, you develop contacts, you build up trust and sincerity, and you utilize those to really promote success. And I'm a big cultural supporter. As an educator, strongly believe that through programs and events that exhibit music and art and culture and cultural values really builds up a sense of appreciation. And through this sense of appreciation, you break bread together, you celebrate together, and then you realize that you can be friends rather than enemies. So these are the type of initiatives, especially in our country, with all the division, all the mistrust that has taken place, that has torn us apart. We're not a nation that believes in that. We're a nation, we're a society, we're a culture that believes in bringing people together. And Marcus, I commend you and all the volunteers and all the organizations. uni level, and everyone else that takes part in these initiatives, because not only is it worthy, now more than ever it's necessary.
Well, I mentioned NYCHA before, and I'm working with Urban Hope and the NYCHA program, which is the New York City Public Housing, the projects. We're actually in project HUPF. We're actually in process of identifying a high school near every project. So that's 350 high schools that we're going to be connecting with to make sure that a student from each one of those is allotted a sponsored seat for the Unilever STEM program. We also are going to try to do some fundraisers for them as well, utilizing the solar program. But this is just such an underserved population of youth with plenty of diamonds in the rough, and I'm proud to be a part of elevating some of them out of the state that they're in. So what are your thoughts about this NYCHA program, or NYCHA in general? Because I heard you had something to do with, the funding and expansion as well.
Sure. Marcus, NYCHA has long been a program that provided housing for those in need, whether old or disadvantaged or disenfranchised. New York City metropolitan area, including communities here in Westchester and elsewhere, rely heavily on NYCHA. My colleagues in the State Assembly and the New York State Senate have fought very hard to increase federal and state funding for NYCHA programs to make sure that we improve housing, buildings and programs, initiatives that renovate these facilities, many that haven't been renovated sometimes in decades. And that impact on promoting a positive atmosphere is enormous. And as you refer to affiliating local high schools in the vicinities and neighborhoods of NYCHA programming, these are crucial to reach out to these young men and women in these high schools and involve them, especially with STEM programs and STEM researches and mentorships through these business affiliations, so that our students get an opportunity to get into careers in medicine and science and environmental programs. We're now confronted at the state level, national and international, with a whole change from fossil fuels to clean energy, and the amount of careers that are potentially in the works is enormous. And when our children and our colleges and our mentors work with these young men and women to motivate them and encourage them through grants and research and sponsorship opportunities, it allows them to fulfill their dreams, to get our children and our communities out of depressing situations in life and allow them an opportunity to succeed. That's our goal, to give each and every person a fair opportunity, give them the resources, and to motivate them so they can achieve at their maximum.
I just want to take a minute to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about something that's on your platform, just because it's relatable to where I'm at with working with BEU and Unilever. There are currently no colleges here in Yonkers, but my understanding is that you're kind of fighting for that, and especially that it would directly influence and affect the programs that I'm working with STEM. For those who don't know, STEM, it stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And so kids who specialize in this, who want to pursue this as a career, now have an opportunity to connect with an amazing company called Unilever, which is a Fortune 100 global company. So just the opportunity to talk a little bit about it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about initiatives that I have undertaken as a New York State Assemblyman. For many that don't realize, a state assemblyman or woman is in a position in the state capitol to really initiate new legislation, new policy, new rules. That's where policy is made. It starts at the assembly level It's approved and sponsored also at the Senate, signed by the governor, then becomes new policy, new law. My bills, for example, that really promote change with STEM involved a special piece of legislation I have co-sponsored, and I hope to have it passed soon, which establishes a State University of New York college right here in Yonkers with a focus on STEM, on science, technology, pre-medical careers. That type of institution would be tremendous in what we're referring to and what we're trying to encourage. And Yonkers is the fourth, soon to be third largest city in New York State with nearly 250,000 people. It borders New York City and it's on the Hudson, mid-Hudson Valley. It's really a crucial and still rapidly growing community. So to have a State University of New York with a special focus on STEM is crucial. I also have special initiatives that change the way New York State funds urban education, that impacts students of color, that really allows equity, which is a constitutional right to make sure that every child, Black and Latin and disadvantaged, who deserves an opportunity is given the proper amount of state funding so they can achieve to their maximum potential. We also recognize that diversity is crucial in the workplace. My other piece of legislation calls on Grow Your Own Initiative. This is a special bill, legislation that encourages school districts and educational institutions at all levels, from pre-K to colleges, to focus on hiring practices that reflect the diversity of the students they teach. This will allow us more compatibility between the teachers and the students. It builds up more respect, more trust, more efficiency, and at the end of the day, allows us a school learning atmosphere that's very productive. So I hope that these initiatives get passed, and I look forward to working with educational institutions and big business to bring these initiatives aboard.
Sir, it's a pleasure. This is not just an association, this is my friend. And I just want to say our coin phrase, which is HUPF, hand up, paid forward. United, we're still standing.
That's right. And Marcus Knight, it's a great privilege and an honor for me to meet you and to work with you and to really help promote a most crucial initiative that is worthy and necessary, and now more than ever, it's the right time to work together to achieve the best for mankind and to really improve society so that we can continue to move forward. So
that's right.
I congratulate you and commend you on a job well done, and this is a long-term mission. It's a building block, and we're looking to work together to make sure that we continue to improve all these efforts.
That's right. Thank you again for having me. United, we're still standing.